If you're an independent artist or you know an independent artist, then you know how insanely difficult it is to create movement and traction for your music. So today we're going to talk about 5 ways that you can support artists and producers absolutely for free. And if you are the artist or producer, then these are 5 ways that you can request support from your following and from your fan base. We're actually going to go into quite a bit of depth when it comes to how these elements affect you and your individual algorithms. So make sure y'all stick around for the whole video and let's talk about it. Before we dive into this video, don't forget to subscribe and smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. It really does help push this video out to more creatives and more people that could use these tools. Number 1, Spotify. There's 3 main elements that I want to talk about here. Those are going to be your following on Spotify, liking tracks, and adding tracks to playlists. When it comes to Spotify's algorithm, these are some of the 3 main factors in the increased exposure of your music. But let's briefly break down why. Starting with Spotify followers. This can be one of the best ways to have direct support from your audience. When users follow an artist on Spotify, they receive notifications about new releases and updates from that artist. This specific and direct connection with fans can really help build a loyal and engaged audience on Spotify. The number of followers that an artist has on Spotify can also signal popularity to the Spotify algorithm. Artists with more followers may receive more prominent placement on Spotify's release radar and discover weekly playlists, and that can lead to an increase in streams and discovery by new listeners. The second element is liking tracks. When a user likes a track, Spotify uses this information to refine their recommendation algorithms. It helps Spotify understand this user's music preferences and better suggest similar tracks and artists that they might enjoy. Liked tracks are more likely to be included in users' personalized playlists such as Daily Mix or Your Library, increasing the chances of repeated streams. The third element is adding to playlists. When users add an artist song to their playlist, those songs become accessible to a wider audience. This can absolutely lead to more streams and more visibility. Songs added to playlists, especially popular and user-created playlists, can gain momentum and attract more listeners. If a song gets added to a playlist with a substantial number of followers, this can create a huge spike in streams and popularity. Spotify's algorithm uses the data from these actions along with several other factors such as listening history and user behavior to create personalized playlists and recommendations. The more an artist's songs are liked, saved, and added to playlists, the more likely they are to appear in personalized recommendations to other users who share similar music taste. The more that an artist or their music is engaged with on Spotify, the more that it signals their algorithm that this artist is gaining popularity and they should push their music to a wider audience. These elements are vital to the success of an artist on streaming platforms. The second way that you can show love and support to your favorite independent artists or producers, or if you are an artist or producer, that you can request support is, of course, social media. But let's really talk about how and why. We're going to talk about 3 main elements, that being liking, commenting, and sharing. This may seem really simple and elementary, but there's actually a lot to it. Liking, commenting, and sharing on social media can have a very significant impact on the exposure and algorithmic visibility of an artist. Here's how these actions can benefit an artist on social media. First, likes. When fans and followers like an artist's post, it signals to the algorithm that this content is engaging and relevant. As a result, whatever individual platform may expose this content to more of their followers or even to a broader audience. A higher engagement rate or likes relative to the number of followers can indicate that an artist has a loyal and dedicated fan base, which can attract more attention from users and the algorithm. Second is comments. Comments on a post can lead to additional discussions and interactions on the platform. Social media platforms value content that generates meaningful conversations because it keeps people on their platform longer. So posts with a lot of comments are more likely to be promoted. Communicating with fans and followers through your comments can also foster a sense of community and support. Third, and this might be the most important one of all, shares. When users share an artist's content, it extends the reach of that content far beyond the artist's immediate followers. The shared content can then potentially reach a brand new audience through the user that shared it, increasing the exposure of the artist and their music. When it comes to social media algorithms, sharing is often considered the strongest metric of valuable content. The algorithm will usually prioritize posts that have been frequently shared, increasing the visibility on users' feeds. And that is the power of social media when it comes to increasing your exposure as an artist or a producer. Another way that you can show incredible love and support for independent artists is fan art. This is actually a really cool way that I don't feel like enough people talk about. Fan art is a direct expression of love and admiration for your music. When fans create art connected to your music, that really shows that there is a deep emotional connection with the message that you're bringing through your music or your production. This is such a powerful idea and can really deeply impact your relationship with your community and your audience. This could be in the form of drawn or digital artwork, lyric videos and visualizers, or even singing or production covers of your music. Not only does this build an incredible intimate relationship between the audience and the artist, but it can also help increase exposure for this artist or producer as content around the fan art is created. And this can work both ways, as the artist is then incentivized to post about the individual making the art about their music or their creative expression as well, making it a mutually beneficial form of support and admiration. As an artist on social media, this can also help in diversifying your content away from strictly posting about your music to promote it. Another way that you can support independent artists and producers, and this is a big one, use their music in your own content creation. Beyond the quality of their own individual content and optimizing the Spotify algorithm, this can be one of the most vital ways that an artist or a producer gains exposure to new audiences for their music. Do you have an anniversary of a relationship coming up? Or maybe you're at a friend's wedding and you want to post about it. Instead of using a song in the background from an artist that's already popular and has great exposure, maybe find a song from an independent artist that you want to support and give them that little boost in their algorithm. Did you create a cool creative piece of content and you want to put a hype hip-hop track behind it? Instead of using a popular artist that everybody already knows, get a fire track from that great producer that you know, or an incredible rap song that you heard from that independent artist you found on TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube. In the same way that sharing content on social media does, this exposes the artist to your audience and your algorithm. So in tandem to the artist or producer striving to create virality in their own content, if your content happens to be picked up by the algorithm and goes viral, so does their song that's behind it. This may be a small detail as you creating content, but this could be life-changing for an artist or a producer, as one song having a viral moment on social media inevitably increases the value of their catalog. The final way that you can show support to artists and producers, and this may seem like the most simple and obvious one of all of them, and that's this: stream their music. At the end of the day, what most artists and producers want is to be able to make a living with their music, which in the music industry can feel nearly impossible. For example, with an artist who owns 100% of their music, if they want to have a decent, humble living of, let's say, $4,000 a month, they would need to have 1 million streams every single month for them to make that living. This is incredibly difficult to do as an independent artist. But all of the other 4 elements really point to this one at the end of the day. Every playlist ad, every like, every comment, every share, every cover. At the end of the day, this increased exposure is for the purpose of an increase in streams and revenue and royalties for this artist. And that starts with you, the individual, the fan, the supporter, not only playing a part in the exposure of this artist's creative expression, but also you listening to the music and showing genuine support for what they do. The more streams that an artist or producer is getting for their music, the more royalties and revenue they're gonna get, the more exposure and discoverability they're gonna have, the higher they're gonna rank on charts, the more playlist placements they're gonna get, the more commercial licensing opportunities they're going to have, the more label and industry interest they're going to have, the more live performance opportunities they're going to have, and at the end of the day, the more sustainable and long-term revenue they're going to be able to get. And for the vast majority of artists and producers, is literally a lifelong dream come true. All this to say that every little individual aspect of support really does genuinely matter when it comes to an artist or a producer's life. As an artist and a producer myself, I understand how difficult it can be to create exposure for your music, to get any sort of momentum. I've gone through the moments of posting every single day just to get a couple hundred views or a few likes, dealt with the negativity and social pressure that comes against you, and of course the pretty heavy discouragement that can happen when you put a lot of time and energy and resource into something that you deem amazing and don't get a response and don't get engagement from it. Of course, a huge variable of this is the quality of the music itself and how it's being represented. So I would encourage every single artist out there to really fight and strive to make the best possible art. Don't skimp on the quality of your music. Don't cut corners. Don't skip steps. Make the best possible art that is authentic and true to you, and odds are people will relate to it and connect to it. I hope this video was informative and encouraging to you as a supporter of music, or even you as a musician or an artist yourself. If you like content like this, comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.